Here are the teams.
Yeah, we're seeing Kalau come in at goalkeeper. Her first World Cup has done phenomenal with New South Wales Swifts in the Suncorp, playing alongside Western. Price at wing defence, she's probably their only out-and-out wing defence coming into this squad. Watson at centre, Engine. Kelsey Brown, wing attack. Steph Wood, goal attack. I love her. She's speedy, she's accurate, and she plays so well with Caitlin Bassett, captain at goal shooter. Then Northern Ireland, we've got Craig coming in at goal shooter, missing Bowman, who got them into this World Cup, alongside McGee at goal attack. O'Hanlon, centre, phenomenal with Northern Thunder in the Super League, alongside Toner at wing defence, playing for Pulse, McGee at goal defence, and Lola at goalkeeper.
Not far now from this game. Australia versus Northern Ireland. Big contingent of Australians in the crowd here, and I'm sure there are a fair number from Northern Ireland as well. Simply have to cross the Irish Sea. Caroline O'Hanlon get Northern Ireland underway at the Netball World Cup 2019. Up against the reigning champions, the defending champions, and of course the world #1 Australians.
Contact, centre.
Having to real work. Oh, and that's straight away a win for the Australian defenders.
Yeah, just taking too much time on that. Needed to swing it early.
Minus contact, goal attack. Advantage obstruction, wing defence.
These two countries met at last year's Commonwealth Games. A big win that day for Australia. Easy passage, finds Bassett. And she's had a bumpy ride, hasn't she? She's had a broken bone in the arm, a head knock.
Yeah. So yeah, in January, the arm, she missed out. Then she had the head knock coming into this competition in those prelim games. So hadn't had much chance to work with these combinations, but she's been in this squad a while now.
Here's one of the more experienced players going around, Caitlin Bassett. Interesting though, it's not an overly experienced Australian side.
No, one of the least capped teams.
We've got 4 Netball World Cups between them, and of course 2 of those belong to Caitlin Bassett, which just goes to show just how much talent there is in Australia. Lisa Alexander just rolling the selection wheel once more. Yeah.
Only 3 of them have been to a World Cup before. Bassett, the only one from the World Cup before that, in Singapore.
Pretty good looking bench too for the Australians.
Advantage breaking, wing defence.
Joe Weston,
nice
easy.
That's good use of the court work there. Swing it wide to Steph Wood. Great vision, great speed, and defenders are nowhere to be seen.
Advantage break, goal attack. Australia.
Beyond the reach of the Toner. Jamie Lee Price at wing defence for Australia.
She's not had much game time at wing defence, has she, in the Suncorp? Normally see in centre.
Did play quite a bit of wing defence during her time in New Zealand before she went home to Australia. Of course, her family moved to New Zealand when her father was playing rugby league. Oh, that's a beauty. Steph Wood.
Yeah, she's not afraid to shoot from anywhere in that circle.
Northern Ireland looking for their first goal. O'Hanlon.
By obstruction centre.
Good Western really hassling.
Oh, and she gets it, Joe Weston. Gosh, arms everywhere.
Yes. That circle is tough, and McGee not able to get free.
Contact with the leg, goal defence. contact against your goal defence, thank you. Advantage goal, move.
So wow, what a
against
start
your
for
goal
Australia.
defence.
This is where it came from. If you just watch those.
Contact, wing
arms.
defence, goal third.
And she follows up with it. It's not just a tip. She then still goes to try and get that intercept as well, which she does.
Contact, goal shooter.
That one against Caitlin Bassett.
Yeah, offensive contact. Jackie Meisen saying she's got her elbow out.
So can Northern Ireland make this one count?
Advantage contact, wing attack. Contact, centre.
Australia making it so difficult for them. Kona finding
Contact, in the third.
Like every ball is being hassled.
With the goal defence. In the third though, yeah.
Kona comes down, sets up.
Weston makes her way back into the circle, almost goes for that one.
Ah, that's a beautiful pass from O'Hanlon. And there's the first goal for Northern Ireland. Dan Ryan, well, he'll be relieved, but this is a beauty.
Great there, how it comes off. Cloud just coming round the back, opening up Shauna Craig. Yeah, we can hear the noise from Zimbabwe coming to court on the other side, court two.
Australia.
But Northern Ireland use it to their advantage.
So Liz Watson
distraction, we can
using
take.
Price at the back. And that's sharp passing from the Diamonds.
Very difficult to get any turnover when the wing attack's on the edge of the circle and Caitlin Bassett is under the post.
Nice wing attack instruction. Right, contact goalkeeper.
Nice feed. And again from Shauna Craig, 2 from 2. When they're getting the opportunities, they're scoring 100%. MFG 1 from 1. But Australia, they're just not letting them have any kind of possession.
Advantage break, wing attack.
Back they go again. O'Hanlon.
Centre contact Australia.
I don't think too many players have beat her to the ball.
With the centre.
Not even if it is Liz Watson.
Nice shuffle shot there. Great shot. McGee getting herself a little bit closer to the post, using her Hanlon on the edge of the circle to do that.
Emma McGee, of course, sharing the court with her sister Michelle, who's at
obstruction, wing
goal
defence.
defence. That's better from O'Hanlon.
Great footwork.
Snatched up. McCaffrey.
Centre contact, circle in.
Yeah, she knew if she passed that ball, it would have been a short pass, so she took a little step back. Oh, just the last feed though, and Hanlon had done such great work to get to that point.
And Shona Craig just not aware that it was there, the space was there.
Advantage obstruction, goal attack.
So was Clow.
Contact, goal defence.
Halfway mark of this first quarter. 100% shooting from Australia, leading Northern Ireland 11-4. And Caitlin Bassett makes it look so easy.
Good target in
Wing
there for
attack,
Australia.
right, free pass.
And that's one of those, talked about in the first game, you don't want to give away cheap ball to the opposition. Breaking the line is a golden rule.
Minus break, goal attack. Play ball, free
Oh,
pass.
Liz Watson there, she knew it as she tried to regather the ball. She lost control of it and you can't pick it up again once it's left your hands.
Advantage contacting defence. Australia, this side.
First miss of the game from either team.
Ball tag with defense.
Western just falling out of court, coming round again, but can't stop Northern Ireland on this occasion.
That was a good hold from Shauna Craig. She really kept Western on her back so that she had front hold and front position, and then can do a quick offload to her partner. Kalau, awesome work, and she takes it off Northern Ireland.
A great Aussie style of pass. The one-handed, bring it right back by the shoulder and let it rip.
Good.
Just enough, wasn't it,
Yeah.
to make the ball go off the Northern Irish player. So 5.5 minutes remaining in this first quarter. All Australia. Although to do Northern Ireland credit, they have come back. It took them a long time to score, didn't it?
Well, Australia just look like they're churning the numbers.
Both these sides coached by Australians. Lisa Alexander, the very successful Diamonds coach, and Dan Ryan, who's come in to coach Northern Ireland.
He was a member of the Australian men's team. I believe he captained it. So he's got a lot of netball knowledge. He was also obviously coach at Manchester Thunder, had a stint in Australia and LA Thunderbirds.
Under no illusions coming into this game, Dan Ryan, that this is the sort of play his side would be up against, and apparently a little bit embarrassed by a newspaper article back in Australia saying that his side was going to pull off one of the biggest upsets in netball history, and I think Ryan a little bit annoyed by that, because he said they never thought that that was going to happen. It's really, he wants to use this game as a chance to get all his players out on court, so expect plenty of substitutions from Northern Ireland.
His target, he said, was top 6.
It was.
Northern Ireland outside. Outside the circle.
And the way this draw works its way through, I mean, you can do that, can't you? You pick your games.
Contact centre.
Nice hold there, Craig. Needs to just settle, get her feet controlled and safe, and then put the shot up.
Northern Ireland currently ranked 8th in the world. I'd like to see that ranking go higher.
Advantage of structure, we defence.
Shauna Craig, an ex-basketballer, like we've seen from Gretel Tippett, who sat on the bench at the moment for Australia, using those different skills to bring a different kind of flavour to this game. Oh, she used the post. You're not allowed to touch the post when you catch the ball, so it gets turned over.
Now, substitution here from Northern Ireland.
McCarthy's coming off. Australia so quick down the court, straight off the whistle, they were gone. Beautiful baseline drive, Steph Wood. So Bassick pulls the top, Steph Wood runs the base.
Neve Woods on at wing attack for Northern Ireland. So the early substitution from Dan Ryan. And I mean, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. We've got 2 minutes left in this quarter. Maybe he's seen enough. Beautiful.
I'm sure he's seen enough of that sort of shooting from the Australians. I think he will realise he's going to see a lot more.
Yeah, so accurate and so smooth. And the thing with this combination is you can't afford to, sometimes you see defenders drop back onto a tall shooter to try and eliminate that, but you can't do that when you've got Steph Wood at goal attack.
She's another in a long line of fast, zippy goal attacks who can also shoot the lights out.
Yes. And Nima was coming on strong, getting some nice interchange play with Craig in the Northern Ireland circle.
Oh, good tussle.
Contact, wing defence.
Feet owner, we know and have seen a lot of that from her. She's got in front, but she got her hands tangled as well.
Goal attack, sorry.
Advantage obstruction, wing defence. Advantage obstruction, goalkeeper.
O'Hanlon
Advantage
taking
centre obstruction.
virtually every second pass for Northern Ireland. Nice take there.
Good for McGee.
Advantage break, wing defence.
23 goals about to come up on the board.
22-7, Australia lead Northern Ireland.
What a quarter. You know, when we talk about Australia's dominance, they don't care who they're playing against. They will go hard on every single ball and play.
And Pam, in a game like this, they would have set their own targets, wouldn't they? It wouldn't have just been about winning.
No, not at all. And they'll take it each quarter by quarter, each combination as well. They'll want to make sure.
A stunning first quarter for the Australian Diamonds, 24-7. They lead Northern Ireland in this second game of the Netball World Cup 2019. As Australia keen to get back out on court. Certainly no changes from Lisa Alexander at that end of the court. Northern Ireland, last minute huddle. Second quarter underway. The Diamonds versus the Warriors of Northern Ireland. 24-7. No doubt Australia will have a whole new set of targets for the second quarter.
And they started it well. Woods sinking that one from a long way out. And this is where Northern Ireland struggled in that first quarter. This defence from Australia hounding them. No pass is easy.
We talked before about what off the knee, unlucky for Northern Ireland.
Craig having to come out of the circle to help.
Kelsey Brown, like lightning.
They continue the shooting masterclass.
China just taking a little wander across the edge of the shooting circle.
She needs to stay outside of it.
Shoots her 21st goal of this campaign. Hasn't even had 21 minutes on court yet.
Contact, goal defence.
We're talking about Northern Ireland's aspirations for this tournament. As you mentioned, Dan Ryan, you know, hoping to make sixth and to do, I mean, it's not an unreasonable expectation. They just need to beat Sri Lanka and Zimbabwe in this first phase. And then if they can get past Barbados and Malawi, they might get there. But those second two countries, Barbados have had a big win this morning. Malawi, yes, beaten by New Zealand, but, you know, that's New Zealand. That will be interesting to follow their fortunes through the campaign.
Yes, they played them in one of the practice games, coming out on top. Lost to Malawi, actually, in that practice game. So they'll be looking to try and overturn that if they want to finish it, as you say. Lots of games to play beforehand.
no doubt, of course, about where Australia want to finish. They want to finish where they normally finish, number 1.
Indeed, indeed. And you talked about having targets for each of the quarters.
Australia, goal line.
They are in one of, you would say, the easier groups in terms of who they have to play, so they're wanting to make sure they're still putting out those performances, but a great intercept there from Fitona as that ball came into the centre third.
Once again, though, they just can't finish it off. Winning ball, but not scoring from it. What a pass. That was Kelsey Brown.
Long range vision. But see, there's Fitona just coming in, taking that ball off the line.
Well, that's a little win for the Northern Irish defenders. Bassett and Steph Wood, of course, used to play together in the Australian Domestic League. Not anymore. Bassett made the move.
Yeah, now playing with English Rose Joe Harton with Giants.
And that's what's so fascinating, isn't it, about this competition? Because, of course, all sorts of countries, all sorts of players who now do play with each other in other competitions.
Yeah, it's great because when you're doing that week in, week out, you start to see all the different people as just players as well. They're not these high-level gods that sometimes you might have put them at when you don't see them often, only at international level.
Interesting too, though, we've heard Lisa Alexander at various times saying, you know, just not quite sure whether the Suncorp competition, which is the domestic one in Australia, should allow unlimited international players, because, you know, one argument is that, of course, they're just funding and providing other countries with a high performance program.
Yeah. But it is separate to their national side. It is a competition in itself, and it brings great revenue to the sport. It brings great gameplay to the sport, and yes, the international imports, they get to improve as well and get to see the Aussies, but also the Aussies get to see them and play against them.
And certainly from a world netball point of view, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Almost 5 minutes gone in this second quarter. 33-7. Northern Ireland yet to score. Will this be it? Oh, but no, foot out of court. So Northern Ireland and both quarters having real trouble getting on the board. Oh, lovely deception, Kelsey Brown.
Use the fake, use their body to shift the defender, and Bassett, such a great target to have.
Offside. Northern Ireland.
That's a better take from Craig.
And better movement from the shooters. McGee pulling forward, Craig going backwards. So Cal not knowing who to mark.
So it took 5.5 minutes, but they're on the board in the second quarter. So the Irish defenders not doing a bad job. Gee, Liz Watson and O'Hanlon both looking a bit tentative as they get up. Watch this.
Both locking legs. But it was a big thud, wasn't it?
It was a big thud. Both those players, pretty tough characters.
And we just wait for the court to be wiped down before we start play again. Better pass there into Craig. And just undershooting. The second time round, she gets nice height. That's what she needs to keep remember. Keep having that confidence, having that flow on her shot so that it goes up and in.
And there is a fabulous view of what's actually going on here in the MS Bank Arena, and all that noise from the other court. That is Zimbabwe playing Sri Lanka. Zimbabwe at their first ever World Cup. So what a fabulous moment. The more countries that can be lifted up into this tier of the game.
Contact centre.
4 African nations have come into this World Cup. A big rise from last time.
Well, you can only imagine the talent that is in that continent, and if you can get the resources in there and the money in there to find those players, oh boy, look out.
Yeah, well, we've seen some Kumwenda, from Ugandan players, Peace Moscovia, Mary Cholhok, so many stars that are now doing their thing on the international stage.
And I think it's that thing, isn't it, about lifting them. It's life-changing. It's not just about, you know, making money as a professional sports person. It's about changing women's lives.
Yeah.
And I think this is the push that netball sometimes, you know, grapples trying to get across to other sports. It's a very different situation.
Definitely. And the stories you get from those players and what they've overcome to get to this position. Oh.
Structural defence, both out.
Meanwhile, court one, Northern Ireland get their 4th goal of the second quarter, 36-11. Australia running away with this game, as was expected.
They've continued that clinicality. They've been on song on the shots, both still sitting on 100%, Bassett and Wood.
Droves of Australian supporters have come to Liverpool from the Southern Hemisphere. Full groups of friends, I think, open bank accounts, and once every 4 years they empty it to go to wherever the World Cup might be. Beautiful work from Fitona. She's done some nice intercepts.
Yes, again, yeah. And she's contributed to the 2 that Northern Ireland have gained in this game.
Contact on the ball centre. Contact goal defence.
Oh, Cloud got a hand to it.
Not getting many attempts, Northern Ireland, so when you do, you really want to see them go through the net.
So a lot of work, a lot of effort, but no reward for Northern Ireland. Price helping that ball come down court.
Wow, good. Bassett coming out to the top of the circle, taking that offload, quick turn, and Wood driving that baseline, which he does so often and so well.
This time, what can Northern Ireland do? They can't get past Joe Weston.
Such timing, but I think that was also the fault of Northern Ireland, not going down the court, going lateral, and Weston was always on the prowl. As you see here, she even came off the player she was marking, Emma McGee, to get that intercept.
Well, Joe Weston came into this Australian side after the last World Cup. There were quite a few retirements from the Australian side. Julie Pauletto, one of them, who I think arguably could be one of the greatest goal defenders of all time, but left that goal defence bib vacant.
Yeah, and she said she felt it was the right time, and then to let the new ones coming through now have their opportunity.
Oh, beautiful ball straight through.
They just make it look so easy, don't they? First miss there from Wood.
Australia hit the 40 mark. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the second quarter.
Wow, all over that. Where Northern Ireland was successful in that first quarter was when they played that ball flat around the edge of the circle, waiting for the space to open up. This last quarter, they've kind of been trying those loopy passes in, and it's just been eaten up by the Aussie defence.
Too high on that occasion, even for Caitlin Bassett. 1.93 metres of her, 6'5". Incredibly though, not She's not the tallest player here.
Oh,
In
no.
fact, there's a couple who I think are taller than her,
Wing defence.
including a shooter for Sri Lanka, who
6'10".
6'10", who's been playing a little bit of netball out in Australia, in the, not in the Suncorp competition, but in the one just beneath it.
Advantage break, goal attack.
41-13, Australia, all over Northern Ireland.
That's obstruction, goalkeeper. Obstruction, sustained arm. Step one, step in. Yeah.
Nice. Get another one on the scoreboard there, McGee.
Northern Ireland.
They've
Contact with
scored
defence.
7 goals in this quarter, Northern Ireland. Time here to add one or two more. Oh, beautifully done by Joe Weston. It's that ability, isn't it, to get a tip and to make it go off the other player.
Yeah, exactly. So you're making sure the ball comes back to your hands, not so it's just another sideline for
Contact, goal
Northern Ireland to attack again.
So the Toner getting a little bit of a warning.
Intentional obstruction. And first miss there from Bassett, but she gets her own rebound.
It always does seem to be the wing defence, doesn't it, who gets called for that intentional obstruction, which I always think sounds funny because, of course, they're not wanting to obstruct, but they're trying to certainly get in the way and disrupt.
Yes. I think wing defence is an underrated position. So difficult to play. And sometimes with little reward, you're just doing the hard graft for others to get those lovely intercepts.
Yes, those showy goal defences and goalkeepers.
goal shooter. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, so Hanlon, well read. Good backing up.
And look at the pace. There she is again down the other end of the court.
Contact.
She could run all day, Carolina Hanlon.
Yes.
34 years of age. No suggestion of stopping?
I've not heard one little thought of that.
Good for her.
Good from Craig, brings them to 8 in this quarter to beat their first quarter score of 7.
Rafi Toner and Kelsey Brown having a real ding-dong. As the whistle goes for half-time on court 1, 45-15, Australia lead Northern Ireland, an advantage of 30 goals. As we now go back live to court 1, Australia 45-15, Northern Ireland. Third quarter away, Northern Ireland in possession.
Yeah, Australia made some changes. Hadley's coming into centre. Let's tip it as goal attack.
And Caitlin Thwaites joining her in the shooting circle.
Yeah, and Bruce coming in at goal defence.
In fact, Bruce at the back there at goal keep. April Branley at goal defence.
So wholesale changes.
What a take. Tonin out goal defence. Gosh, look at that. O'Hanlon with ease beating Jamie Lee Price to that ball.
Yeah, so strong on the take.
To be fair to Price, it was intended for O'Hanlon.
Unlucky there. Needs Woods trying to get defensive.
Tippett. Oh, not that time. Although I think Northern Ireland pulled back.
Contact, goal defence.
A lot of talk about Gretel Tippett and her style, basketball style. Initially, you know, I think there was a lot of sort of almost, I don't know if it was resentment, but I think people have now come to see just what she brings to this game.
Yeah.
It's fresh, it's exciting, and it really changes things up.
Yeah, because you'd find Australian kind of had that style of play and everyone was the same, but she's kind of mixed it up a little bit. And they needed that. They needed something that they can inject when things aren't working or they just want to mix it up a little bit. Gretel Tippett, you go.
Goal attack.
She's an athlete. One of the fittest ones in the squad.
And there's Caitlin Thwaites. She is a survivor, Thwaites. Gee, she's been around a little while now. She, Bassett and Paige Hadley, who's now on court at centre. Three of the, or the only survivors from the 2015 World Cup team.
Yeah.
And she's been in and out of favour, played in New Zealand, came back, and just, I think, a wonderful example of a sportswoman. Gareth Fowler enjoying his job. Good to see the umpires having a good time. Oh, not that time for Craig. Oh, Hunting.
This is just played at such speed. You see all the changes here. Goalkeeper Bruce has come on. Branley's come on at goal defence. Price stays at wing defence. Centre, Paige Hadley's come on. Brown stays at wing attack. Tippett comes on at goal attack and Thwaites at goal shooter.
Northern Ireland also making a few. That one we mentioned earlier, Fitona going across to goal defence. Leave Cooper on at wing defence. So Hanlon, of course, you're never going to move her anywhere. Leave Woods at wing attack, McGee and Craig. Oh, nice tidying on the edge of the circle from Woods.
Do you think Hanlon will play every quarter of every game?
I would imagine so, and she probably will be training in between.
Yeah. I would have put it past her indeed. McGee just getting another one now on the board.
I mean, we shouldn't go on about O'Hanlon, but she's one of those athletes, isn't she? That, and every country has one, regardless of where they are ranked in the world. Just exceptional people who somehow manage to do so many things, and often with such good grace and style.
Yeah, so humble. Okay, another mistake off the back line.
Tippett floating down the sideline. Thwaites
Contact, goalkeeper.
doing a good job of keeping Gemma Lawler on her back.
Branton contact, wing attack. Contact on the goal, wing defence. Goal defence.
Fitona just her timing a little bit off there. She'd come out just a little bit earlier. She would have got that intercept, but it leaves a penalty pass, and Tippett doesn't miss shots like that.
Good effort from Bruce. I remember Courtney Bruce's debut for Australia. It was against New Zealand a few years ago. She got blown off the court, and that was a win for New Zealand. Probably the, one of the more recent times that New Zealand beat Australia. She came back the next game, and everything had been adjusted.
Yeah, and that's great smarts from her. Good players learn from game to game, and they adapt their style, keep their fundamentals, but just tweak it a little bit so that they aren't getting the umpires involved, and they're coming out, as she does, with phenomenal interceptions.
And also is another one of these players who seems to be having a great time out there. Big smile on her face. Oh, that's an awful collision. Caroline O'Hanlon. Mid-air collision in the middle of the court.
Both going for a ball, both eyes on the ball. But we just need to check.
So this is midway through the third quarter. Australia leading Northern Ireland 51-17. 6-2 Australia leading this third quarter, as we've talked about. Yeah, good chance there for the Australians just to get together and settle everything's down. Nobody likes to see a player down on the floor like this.
No.
Northern Ireland, well, they, of course, will be seeing their captain on the floor. 97th test for Caroline O'Hanlon. So a dramatic moment in this game. Opening day of the Netball World Cup 2019. You can see the look of concern on the face of Dan Ryan.
This would be a big blow for them, but she's talking, it seems.
Umpires having a little conference as to what happens next.
Yeah, she's strong. She's a tough cookie. They're going to need to be careful though, just to make sure she is fully okay.
Well, you just want to take her off, wouldn't you? You're not going to waste a Hanlon in a test like this.
Definitely. Let her recover.
So just under 9 minutes left in this third quarter. And of course the thing is, she is the linchpin of this Northern Irish side. They will be wrapping her in cotton wool.
Thank you, that's lovely. Thank you.
So Neve Woods moves to centre. And away come Northern Ireland again. Oh, Jamie Lee Price, she's through.
And McCaffrey comes on at wing attack to replace Woods, who's now, as you said, moved to centre.
Vantage obstruction, goal attack. Vantage contact, goal defence.
Australia move through to 52-17.
Centre third, wing defence.
So there's the change for
Contact, goal
O'Hanlon.
defence here. Come round. Goal defence, step in, yes.
Great rebound there from Tippett. Got herself in a good position. She was in front of the defenders so that she can go high.
And look, this is what happened. Oh, it was a tangle with Jamie Lee Price.
Yeah, got her shoulder into the face, I think that was.
You know, it's an interesting thing, something like that, Pam, because clearly O'Hanlon rocks by it. But, you know, for a relatively young player like Price, when you are involved in something like that, you're at your first World Cup. I mean, is that something that you perhaps need to sort of deal with?
Yeah, it's difficult because you'll feel for that player, and you know, not that you did it intentionally, but you've caused something, but you have to take it out of your mind and continue to play the game.
Nice pick up on the edge of the circle from Woods.
And a tighter quarter here. Australia have only scored 8 compared to Northern Ireland's 3.
Obstruction, goalkeeper, advantage goal.
Fight with the bigs.
Oh, nice lifted into the pocket.
Okay, hold, goalkeeper.
The trouble is you can't lift too many balls where Courtney Bruce is hunting.
You can't at all. She is so good on those overpasses.
Oh, great lean and a jump from April Branley.
Contact, centre.
And she loves another wind-up pass, doesn't she? Bruce to get that down court.
Vantage contact.
Bullet pass from Tippett into Thwaites. So there's Carolina Hanlon. Look, good to see her
Yeah.
staying on the sideline. But probably done for the day, you would have to suggest.
Yeah, I think that would be wise.
Advantage goal. Contact. Goal defence.
Still that cheering going on the other court. 35-29 Zimbabwe over Sri Lanka.
Minus contact, goal attack.
Great to see more close games here at the World Cup. This one, as you can see, blowing out a little bit as expected. 60 goals or so between these two countries at the Commonwealth Games earlier last year.
And at one stage in that first half, thinking they may beat the record of 93-5 that they had in Eastbourne
Obstruction.
way
centre.
back in the very first Netball World Cup. But halftime has come. Northern Ireland have kept it not as far. And obviously some changes to the Aussie lineup as well.
So both Northern Ireland and Australia using this game to get every player out on court. So that's the contact against Cooper.
Yeah, she pushed the ball into the defender, so
It's incredible. It's interesting, isn't it, how often you do see players doing that.
you have to give them time to get their 3 feet.
And look at this. This is just a fabulous view of this arena and how the two courts are really right by each other.
And it's great because you're not only as a player having to concentrate on what's going on in your court, you're also hearing all the atmosphere from the other court as well, and you have to focus in.
And the reason for that atmosphere is at half-time, Zimbabwe 38-29 over Sri Lanka. And I should just repeat, Zimbabwe at their very first World Cup. But here on court 1, Australia, they have played at each and every World Cup right since the beginning. Whereas Northern Ireland have had an interesting pattern, haven't they? They've sort of qualified for one, then missed one, qualified for one. And we should, I suppose, pay mention too to the work of Elaine Rice, the former coach of Northern Ireland, who got them into qualifying, got them to this event.
Yeah, building that groundwork in, beating Wales in the qualifiers.
Took them to the Com Games on the Gold Coast last year and then stepped down.
Goal defence. Round 3 of the goal defence. Where you are now. With the goal defence.
Just the 3 goals so far in this quarter for Northern Ireland.
Yeah, Emma McGee will be disappointed with her shooting stats. 6 from 15, that's only 40%. Needs to be a lot higher on this world stage. Oh, simple, isn't it? So quick, direct, clinical.
Goal attack, right.
You can't afford another mistake like that off your own centre pass.
Oh, straight out the back.
Another mistake. This defensive pressure again from Australia, so strong. They just make it really difficult for you to see where that space is and where those options are going to open up.
And I guess that's a little just sign of desperation.
Hold time, caution, persistent contact goalkeeper.
It'll be interesting to see if Dan Ryan brings Nolene Armstrong into the fray today. Of course she was. Nolene Lennon answered the call after the injury to Lisa Bowman.
Indeed.
Played her 100th test the other day.
And I think that would be a good substitution. This shooting end, only scoring 3 in this quarter, really struggling, and so having something a little bit different. Bowman is a holding shooter. She brings a little bit more height and might be that just that target this Northern Ireland team need.
There she goes again. Missed on that occasion, Tippett. We saw one of those from Tapia Selby-Rickett in the New Zealand game earlier. Also,
Australia.
quite an accomplished basketballer. Look at this from Tippett.
Just over kicking it.
Contact keeper. Advantage goal.
Yeah. This scoreline, they started slowly, this Aussie attack. Started to build up now.
So that is the whistle for the end of the third quarter, a dramatic third quarter. 66-19, Australia lead Northern Ireland. So Northern Ireland come back out on court for this fourth quarter, of course now without their captain. Had quite a tangle and then a fall onto the floor in that third quarter. But O'Hanlon okay.
Let's see, Crosby coming on at goal attack. Her debut at World Cup.
So 22-4 that last quarter. Now we're ready for the fourth. Final quarter underway, 67-19. Australia firmly in control of this game.
Also Michelle Drain, we see, has come on at wing attack. She didn't play much of those warm-up games with an ankle injury, but looking fit now.
59th test for Michelle Drain.
Australia throw. Goal line outside.
A key in the Hertfordshire Mavericks side in the VNSL.
That's obstruction here with attack.
Normally at wing defence though.
Well, I guess in a game like this, you probably try a few things.
Again, we talk about the versatility of players, being able to play multiple positions.
So here are the changes made by Northern Ireland. This is where everyone is at the moment. So pretty similar to that last quarter, except for those two, as we've mentioned, Drain and Crosby.
Great goal attack.
Great food, Paige Hadley, just going over the mess, fine length weights.
In fact, it's interesting. Liz Watson now has come on to the court at wing attack. Come back. A little bit of pressure here from Northern Ireland. Here's the Diamonds lineup. Weston out to wing defence. Watson to wing attack. And Tippett again and Thwaites. So I think Lisa Alexander giving all her players a run.
Watson just finding that edge of the circle. And Thwaites positioning. Good cover there from Brandley.
Oh, straight out the back door.
Yeah, she stopped that 1-2 coming into Craig and caused the turnover.
Northern Ireland getting into this World Cup at the expense of Wales. The regional qualifiers that are,
what a play.
That's brilliant from Tippett.
Such an athlete. How does she get up so high for that and keep control of the ball?
Beautifully finished. So once again, we have this pattern of Australia dominating, well, they're dominating the game without question, but also particularly dominating those first few minutes of each quarter.
Yeah. It takes time, doesn't it, for Northern Ireland to get that one goal on the board. This time Australia already on 6. They get another chance though with Craig.
This time. So Caroline O'Hanlon still on the bench, so that must be a good sign. They haven't felt the need to rush her off to some kind of medical centre.
Yeah, that's really good, and it's good that she'll want to be part of the team still as well. She'll want to be on the bench, giving her support from the sidelines, even though she isn't on court. And I think it would have been hard for the Northern Ireland girls to see her go.
And of course, as we mentioned earlier, she is a doctor, a GP doctor. It must be difficult being the team doctor, advising the doctor.
Yeah. Questioning, potentially. Are you sure? I'm telling you I'm okay.
Hadley unable, of course, to go and pick up that loose ball. Oh, shot on
Good.
one leg.
Crosby.
Kiara Crosby.
But it's been disallowed. Contact called on Craig, so it doesn't count.
Oh, that was tricky.
Yeah.
Thwaites knew she couldn't just come in and take it. She had to get on court before she caught the ball. And by then, of course, the ball had gone out.
Yeah. Oh, another hit. Tippett and Toner. This game is feisty. So this is where we get the no-goal. Craig there backing in and causing the offensive contact.
So into the final 10 minutes of the game. 76-20. Australia over Northern Ireland. No one was expecting the result to be any different.
It's the placement of these balls. They're just either overcooking it too much or allowing the Australian defence to get a tip on it.
I guess the big thing from this game, though, will be how Caroline O'Hanlon shapes up after this game, because, gee whiz, if they want to make that 5th, 6th playoff, they need her.
Definitely, definitely.
Oh, beautiful ball from Branley.
It's the connections that they've built, isn't it? They seem to know exactly where the next person's going to be.
See there the Australian Diamonds Brains Trust at the top of your screen. In the white jackets, Lisa Alexander, flanked by Claire Ferguson, better known perhaps, well, not better known, used to be known as Claire McMiniman before she married, and of course Megan Dean.
Powerhouse of a coaching set up there.
Contact, goal attack. Contact, win defence.
Branley, nice tip.
And considerable height advantage that the Australians have over Northern Ireland.
There she is. And Tippett was on hand to pick it up for her. Really working as a team, both on attack and defence.
And Jackie Misen, the English umpire. Of course, we probably don't talk, well, actually, it's probably just right that we don't talk about the umpires much, but we should mention, you know, it's a huge event for the players, but just as big for the umpires, isn't it?
So important for them as well. Well, they have an impact on the game just as much as the players do. And as you say, a good umpire you don't really notice. They just control the game and it plays us, but they make a world of difference. And if you've got good ones on the game, it makes the game flow better.
Hadley finding Waits, now ducks back, uses Tippett.
Yeah, and that's movement there. Even though Tippett is tall, she can jump, but that movement from Thwaites to pull off the defence makes it just that little bit easier for her partner.
Yeah, nicely read by McGee. Saw that one coming.
All congregated on that side of the court, aren't they? Just needing to open it up. That's better there from Crosby. And there it is from Craig. Can't quite keep her feet in. Overballs are not going to work for Northern Ireland. They need to play it around the circle. But Cooper, Neve having an impact there on getting that turnover for Northern Ireland. Now what can they do with it?
Oh, straight over everyone and out, much to Michelle Drain's disappointment.
Yeah, she got a little finger on it, hence why it's gone to Australia now.
Michelle Drain sounds a bit of a character. Tweeted after her selection, you know, couldn't believe that she's been selected. It took her until she was 30 to get to a World Cup, and she's done it, which is marvellous. When you think for these players, for these teams that don't always make the World Cup, you know, it's not just that 4-year rotation.
Yeah. Nice, in between two defenders.
Also like her Twitter handle of Drain Type.
Drain Type, yeah. I need to find out where that came from.
Contact, wing attack, holding the player.
She's just been called, having to stand down. Into the final 5 minutes of this game, 84-20, Australia over Northern Ireland at the moment. Waits coming out, she wants more.
Greta Tippett sitting on 93%, 14 out of 15 shots. Again, like we saw in that first game, where New Zealand was sharing the load between their shooters. Thwaites has had 24 opportunities, Tippett 18 opportunities, just in this half.
Another thing to like too about this Australian side is that if you look at the 2-goal attacks, Gretel Tippett, Steph Wood, so different. Like Tippett is what, 1.9 something. Steph Wood, 1.7, like totally different styles of play.
Yeah, so once you get more of the kind of running around the front, taking those drives, doing the long shots, with Tippett you get more drive into the post. You get that elevation, you get those layup shots. Yeah, it's great for Australia to have those options in the squad.
Well, they have options coming out their ears, and that is why Australia so consistently have been the best in the world.
Good through court there from Northern Ireland, just using the pace. Some juggling from Watson.
Well, that's a little smile, I think, on the face of Dan Ryan.
Obstruction, wing attack, penalty.
Branley really runs you hard. She'll come out of the circle with you, she'll stick with you, she'll follow you back in again. Contact called in the far end from Crosby. Just getting a bit congested, isn't it, for Northern Ireland?
Hadley and Watson, and then the lift to Tippett underneath the goal. And here they all are. Oh, nicely done. The defenders for Northern Ireland.
Yeah. One of the smaller ones in that circle, but still managed to get that intercept through the two shooters.
And again, I think it was always going to be problematic for Thwaites to try and get that ball coming in from out of court.
Contact on the ball, goal defence.
Netball Brownlee takes a little sneaky look at the clock. Oh, that's a brilliant pass. Finds Craig.
Craig locks it in.
So watch this.
Yeah, great. She saw Tippett coming round the back on the baseline, moved her feet, went up.
Contact centre. Yeah. Contact, wing attack, advantage to the outside.
And you just wonder what Northern Ireland will make of this game. I think it's a more narrower scoreline than the defeat last year at the Com Games.
And it's a positive, which Dan said in his interview at the start of the game, that
Offside, wing defence, 3 passes
every little
wide.
bit that they can do better than the last time, he will take. But still,
And I guess the main concern, as we mentioned earlier, will be for
Contact,
O'Hanlon.
centre, left to the outside. Ball, please, players.
And from the Australian point of view, well, they will tick this off as a start.
and they've been pretty consistent, haven't they? First quarter, 24 goals, second 21, third 22, fourth currently sitting on 20. So each lineup have managed to keep that consistency going.
Instruction. Northern Ireland.
So it's Caitlin Thwaites who has the final say in this game between Northern Ireland and Australia. It is the defending champions Australia 88-24 over the Northern Irish. As the two teams shake hands, and no doubt there will be a group huddle in the middle of the court. So Northern Ireland applaud the Aussies, and the Australians, well, nothing telling on the face of Caitlin Bassett, the Australian skipper, but I think she'll be pretty pleased with that outing. There's a smile. Very consistent quarters, really. 24-7, 21-8, 22-4 and 21-5. So smiles all round.
Yeah, good day at the office for them. Cool. So shots there, 92 for Australia against 40 for Northern Ireland. They really kept that pushing through. Percentage-wise, 60%. Northern Ireland will be disappointed with that. You really, as I said in the game, need to be hitting 85 plus. And I think turnovers are really key, 50. Australia, as soon as they got the ball, they were able to bring that through the court. And penalty-wise, pretty similar.
So let's have a look what's going on. They are going through the warm down. Let's go down now though and hear from the player of the match.
Kelsey, 3 quarters of the game played, player of the match awarded to you. That wasn't a bad World Cup debut, was it?
No, it's super exciting to be out there. The atmosphere and the venue is unbelievable. So well done, Liverpool. It was great for us girls to get out there and get a win.
There's a lot of you that are making your World Cup debuts. It's a relatively inexperienced side. Were there a few nerves when you went out there?
Yeah, definitely some nerves. I think we're all really excited to be at our first World Cup, and a few of us, it's our first major tournament. So there were definitely some nerves for me this morning, but I'm excited to have it underway.
It was a pretty comfortable win in the end, wasn't it, by 64 goals. What can you learn from a game like that?
We actually wanted to go out there and make sure that we ran through our structures and made sure that we were tweaking some of the things that we needed to refine. So there is a lot to pull from that game. There's a lot that we can improve on, and hopefully going into the next game we can, fix that.
Yeah. bigger challenges to come. Do you feel that you've put a marker down there in terms of making that starting 7 when it's at the business end of the tournament?
I think the best thing about this Aussie team that we've got is there's 12 players that could go out. We've got 100 different combinations that we could put on, and we've been working on each and every one of them in our training camps. So I think the best thing about us is that we've got massive depth, so who knows what you're going to see out there in the next few games.
Well played today, Kelsey. We look forward to seeing you back out again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Kelsey Brown, MVP, as chosen by a selection of INF panellists. So this is the situation now with Group A, that big win for Australia. They take the 2 points, and then of course we'll see what happens with the other two. But I'm going to say, by the sounds of what's happening behind us, Zimbabwe leading Sri Lanka at the moment 51-41. So it looks like Zimbabwe might pick up another 2 points as well. So what a great start for Zimbabwe at their very first World Cup. And there you can see what's going on down there. 4 minutes remaining in that game. And Sri Lanka, well, they'll be making things tough for them. But Zimbabwe seemingly off to a terrific start here in Liverpool. So let's now drop down, and we can hear, I think, from the coach of Northern Ireland, Dan Ryan.
Thanks very much, Dan. Before we talk about the game, a word on your captain. How is she? Because Caroline took quite a stumble in there, didn't she?
Yeah, it was a massive hit, a massive fall, but from all reports at this stage, she's okay. So we'll just assess again shortly and see how she pulls up. But obviously she's huge to our campaign, so fingers crossed she's up for tomorrow.
You lost by 68 in the Commonwealth Games, 64 today. But did you see more than a 4-goal improvement?
Look, I think we knew it was going to be a really tough ask, and it was an onslaught from the start to the finish, and it was relentless. And I think the biggest thing we spoke about as a team is the learnings that we're going to take from it. And you don't get the opportunity to feel the relentlessness, the intensity, the tenacious approach that the Diamonds have unless you actually play against them. So for some of our girls, that was the very first time. For others, you know, it's been 12 months since they've had that experience. So they get it once every 4 years, even less. So to feel it is one thing, and it's now about reflecting on it and learning from the experience so they're better equipped to handle the occasion in our next couple of games, which probably is what the World Cup is about for us. So it's about keeping perspective, but learning every time they're out there. So a great opportunity.
The biggest learning, you keep saying learnings?
Yeah, look, I think today there was some times where we put ourselves under pressure as well. Obviously, the Diamonds were on everything and they were making us work for absolutely every single ball we had. But I felt too with some of the decisions that we were making or not making, we were making the situation worse for ourselves. So really, at the end of the day, you can't outrun the Diamonds, you can't outmuscle the Diamonds, but the ball can beat anyone. So I really wanted to use the ball a little bit better at times. But that will be a big learning. And I think at times they did it well, but the occasion was just too much and the opposition just too strong.
Well, unlucky today, Dan, but we look forward to seeing you against the likes of Zimbabwe and Sri Lanka over the next few days. Lisa, come over here. As I mentioned to Dan, it was plus 60 again, wasn't it, as a win? But what can you actually take and learn from a performance that you were so utterly ruthless from minute 1 to minute 60?
Oh, look, there's always some things that can be better. Some balls that get thrown in from, the centre third and you're working on making sure you get second phase right. Those little things, the details that we know, against an opposition like a New Zealand or an England, we're not going to get away with. So we've just got to make sure we keep pushing all of our systems and structures we're working on in attack. I was really pleased with our intensity in defence. I think our footwork can improve a little bit more and our intensity there. But, it was great hit out for the first game. And I thought, Northern Ireland definitely have improved. It was great to play against them and, they play with great skill and pride in representing their country and, it's a credit to Dan and the work that he's done.
The whole squad got out today. Who impressed you?
Oh, they all did. I was really pleased with Sarah's debut. I think, she started probably a little bit tentatively and then she got a groove and started to get hand to ball, which is what she can do. I also was very pleased with Courtney coming on. I think she's really prowling and controlling that defence third, which I'm really pleased about.
And just finally, how much did today's performance help you get a step closer to that starting 7, or perhaps you already know it?
We may already know it, but we're really just working on making sure we've got a variety of combinations, that they're working well together. And, you know, particularly I really enjoyed Gretel and Katie's work today. That took a bit of work at the previous camp, so I'm really enjoying what they did.
Well played today, Lisa.
Thank you.